Valerie, what needs to change in radio?
It's really not radio. What we do is life with a microphone. We're doing the struggle to be a human being, understand our lives, open up the world, and create journeys for the audience that they could never get to on their own. Introduce our listeners and viewers, in many cases, to characters that they can care about and stories. And again, it's understanding people and life. News really is two different jobs. The big news day, when there's a lot of different things going on that affect the safety, the health, the well-being of the audience. And this is the true public service, where we keep our listeners safe from harm. Then there's the rest of the time, where it's just stories of life, and we should inform entertainingly and entertain informatively. And on those days, this is really where the true work comes in, because it's very easy to do journalism when it's the big story. It's very hard to be a powerful radio broadcaster when there's nothing happening and you have to create ways for people to come to the radio. But my view of it is we don't do radio, we do life with a microphone. What's interesting and what's changing is that we're all working across multiple platforms now. So it's no longer just radio, it's TV because it's the internet and maybe we're posting video. And one of my favorite pieces I saw was they did, there was a freeze, an early freeze in Florida where they have a strawberry business, it's the berries, and the berries were all gonna freeze. And the man talking, the reporter described that this was a very old man, and he was wearing a baseball hat to cover his head, and he had a nose that looked like a strawberry. And on the video, you could then see what he looked like and see the strawberry fields. And it was a lot of fun to do that story and to hear it. So it's really across multiple platforms. We not only have to do a radio report, but we need to write almost a newspaper report for the text online. And then we also have to be able to do television. And then there's the Twitter and the instant messages. So you need to be able to say it in a headline in 140 words. This has happened. You need to know about it. So that's what's new. We're working across multiple platforms.
And is every country different? I mean, what you're doing in the States with a different balance, obviously, of audio, visuals and text and access to the internet, does that mean to say that radio is different in every country?
People are people everywhere, and the reason that I work and have been successful in 30 countries over the 25 years that I've been working as a consultant and the 10 years before that when I worked in radio stations in America, in Africa, in Singapore, in England for the BBC, in Canada for commercial radio, in America, in Holland. Human beings are human beings. Everybody cares about the same stuff. Everybody wants safe water. Everybody wants a safe world. Everybody wants nuclear power or nuclear bombs to go away so that we don't have to worry about blowing up the planet. Everybody is concerned about environmental issues. Everybody is concerned about having enough food. And at core, people are concerned about living in a world where they can have input into the decisions that are affecting their lives politically. So every human being at core, no matter the country, the language may change, the customs may change, the people may look different, but the heart of each person, each man and woman wants to leave a better world for their children than they are living in. Each person wants a job that they choose to go to and that they can support themselves doing. Each person would like to live in a nice home. Each person has the right to be as healthy as he or she can be and have medical care if they are not. So these are all things that globally, it doesn't make a difference whether you're American or Mexican or German or African. These are things at core about the human experience that we can hold up a mirror and reflect life on the radio.
But is radio doing enough to keep the great stories that it's broadcast today for audiences tomorrow? I say that because in parts of Africa you have a marvelous saying that when an old man dies, I would argue an old man or woman dies, in Africa a library burns, because it's very much an oral tradition. Do you see that as indeed budget shifts in many media organizations, maybe away from traditional broadcasting to more online, that we're not keeping enough?
Oh, you make me want to cry when an old man dies, a library dies. I mean, it's. I think that humans are very curious, And we are story junkies. We love stories, and we want to know our past, and we want to know what's happening in the world. We want to know what's happening with our people. So I think that it just becomes the delivery system is different. Whether it's oral tradition where the man sits down and talks to a group of children and teaches them, or whether it's archived, or whether it's written word, or whether now it's going to be video and audio, I think that history needs to stay alive and stories need to stay alive. And as long as human beings are curious, why is this like this? And the minute those questions are asked, there are always people who have the answers. And I think it's part of our job as journalists and broadcasters is to ask, why is it like this? And then it's our job to find the people who can explain to us why.
Good, that's fine. Fantastic.
Right. Mention the book.
Mention the book. Well, let's do the mention. Why did you write the book?
This is the third book. This book came out in 2007. I had written a book that came out in 1994 called Creating Powerful Radio, and that one went around the world, and it was translated into Albanian and Bulgarian and all kinds of languages. And then I wrote another one called the Powerful Radio Workbook, which came out in 2000. And then this is the new one from Focal Press, which is Elsevier, which is a Dutch publisher. I was very honored to have my marketing representative for Holland and all of Europe here today. He came to this conference. And again, I'm very proud to have a Dutch publisher putting my work in the entire world, and it's coming out of Holland. So I'm very grateful to Holland and the Dutch people for having this publisher put out the work. And it's called Creating Powerful Radio. If you're interested, focalpress.com or creatingpowerfulradio.com. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for mentioning the book.
Good.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you want to take a shot?